Hello from Kuala Lumpur International Airport. I'm Patrick Hughes and this is Planet Patrick. I'm starting a journey from here in Kuala Lumpur to Dublin via Doha with Qatar Airways. Now, Qatar Airways has once more won world's best airline. My first flight is in economy from KL to Doha, where I'll have a layover for a few days. The second flight is in business class from Doha all the way to Dublin, and that's an overnight flight. So hopefully I'll get to try out that famous lie flat bed. Now, I'm pretty sure that today's flight will be on board a Boeing 777-300ER. Let's get started with today's flight at check-in. Okay, so we're at check-in counter A and B, and I think Qatar is at K.
Walk with you where you go.
Now, I'm here a good 3.5 hours before my flight, so it's possible I won't be able to check in yet.
I know you.
That's for Saudia. I'm often quite early for flights. In this case, I'm about 30 minutes ahead of when Qatar Airways is going to open. I could get a drink. I find it astonishing that O'Brien's is here in Kuala Lumpur. Last year it was Singapore. This year Qatar for business. Qatar overall, best. There's a website called Skytrax that does the measurement. Here we go.
Just let me.
Sometimes check-in can be stressful, and that one was quite stressful. I was towards the front of the queue, which is always a nice thing to happen, but I needed to check my bag through to Dubai because I've got a connecting flight tomorrow morning. I have to say the staff members were really helpful and managed to get my bag checked the whole way through, which is amazing. So Qatar check-in gets a big thumbs up from me. Let's go through security and get a cup of tea on the other side.
So to go over that one more time, I'm flying from Kuala Lumpur to Dublin via Doha, but with a planned stopover in Doha. As a bit of a side quest, I decided to visit Dubai for a few days from Doha. Qatar Airways allowed me to check my bag all the way through to Dubai when I just checked in here at KUL. Meanwhile, back at the airport, look at the size of that immigration line on the left-hand side.
I was marveling at that giant line for immigration, but it turns out if you've got an Irish or EU passport, British passport, and a few other countries, there's not a problem. You can go through e-gates. Okay, here is customs.
Wherever I go, you are my home, so just.
Well, I'm all coffeeed up and ready to go to the gate. It appears that there's maybe some works that are going on, or at least I have to get some sort of a train, a bus, or some kind of a transfer to get to the sea gates. Here I am at the sea gates at last. It's kind of timely that I'm flying with Qatar Airways today. It's just a few weeks ago that the airline was named Airline of the Year from Skytrax. Returning to that top spot for the 8th time so far, I believe that last year Singapore Airlines was number 1. I bet they're pretty cross this year. Qatar Airways received 3 other titles: World's Best Business Class, World's Best Business Class Airline Lounge, and Best Airline in the Middle East. This flight is very much going to be in economy. I've paid a little bit extra for a window seat so we can try and see something when we're taking off and landing, even though it will be relatively late in the evening. So I'm in row 11. According to Seat Guru, either row 12 or row 10, I can't quite remember, doesn't have a window. So I'm hoping that that's right and it's not really my row. I'm going to head down to gate C2 now and see if I can get charging my phone and this camera a little bit.
We request you to remain seated until your call is over. We now invite customers seated in zone 1. Zone 1 only to proceed for boarding.
I'm in zone 4. I don't know why I'm walking up this way. Zone 3 has been called. I seem to be the very last.
Please to Doha for boarding. As the aircraft is now ready for departure, we wish you a pleasant flight with Qatar Airways, a member of the One World Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you. So zone 4 was everybody else. Hi. Oh, thanks.
A warm welcome from Qatar staff. Now this does look like the older business class product, certainly not Q Suites. I have to admit I would take it over my economy seat. Premium economy looks relatively tight here. And yes, that's me trying to squeeze my way into my window seat. 11A.
Pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. My name is Dwight, and on behalf of Qatar Airways and all the crew, I would like to welcome you on board this Boeing 777 flight QR853 to our destination, Doha. Our flight time today is 6 hours 50 minutes. We should be cruising at an altitude of 36,000 feet. Please make yourself comfortable and enjoy our world-class service.
There's not a huge amount to say about this economy class seat on this older Boeing 777-300ER. The weird thing here is not the USB socket, but the seeming presence of an Ethernet cable socket. There's some old school remote controls. On the positive side, I have lots of knee room, although the room for my feet is restricted by a box that probably contains the entertainment system. I do like this split tray table, gives you a bit more room if you're just having a drink, and it seems pretty sturdy. The IFE itself seems much newer, of course I love the map. But if you're looking for drama or comedy, at least in English, there seems to be plenty of choice here. No risk of getting bored on this almost 7-hour flight across to Doha.
Okay, while we're waiting for takeoff, I think this is a little amenity kit in fetching orange. Oh, some lovely little socks, a very crinkly little eye mask, a tiny toothbrush and toothpaste, look at that, and earplugs, in case you're sitting right behind the bassinets, which I am. This is very nice though. I think that's the Arc de Triomphe. You're showing the safety announcement now on the IFE, so I better concentrate on that for a second. That's the first time I've ever seen Iraqi Airways.
The cabin light will now be deemed for takeoff. Thank you. Cabin crew, take your seat for departure.
Service started barely 20 minutes after taking off, which is a bit of a record in my experience. The first service was pretzels and a drink, this nice Coke Zero, followed by food service.
Thank you.
The tray looks pretty good. I chose the chicken. It looks appetizing, but I have to tell you, it wasn't at all appetizing. This chicken was not good. The flavour was fine. The chicken, though, was gristly. Time for a quick toilet report. On the Boeing 777, it's fairly tight in here, but it has everything you need, and I do like that they have some room spray, if we call it that. And I do have absolutely no idea what's going on with my shirt. I both tucked it in and failed to tuck it in. Small toilet, Boeing 777. Let's talk about onboard Wi-Fi. If you have Privileged Club membership, which is free, you get 1 hour of free Wi-Fi on board. Or Qatar will charge you $10 for Wi-Fi for the entire flight. Actually, that's pretty cheap as these things go. Don't expect riveting speeds or consistent service throughout your journey. This is good enough for sending an email, checking your social media, that kind of thing. While you're there, why don't you give a little subscribe to Planet Patrick? The flight was pretty smooth, apart from a little light turbulence during the journey. About 2 hours before landing, a second service came around with some drinks, but also what I would call a weird kind of sausage roll, some puff pastry stuffed with, I think, chicken and vegetables. After the second meal service, they started playing some Welcome to Doha videos and customs and immigration advice.
It's our pleasure having you on board today. Thank you for choosing Qatar Airways. It's a warm day, Doha with a temperature of 32 degrees Celsius.
Thank you for taking flight to Qatar Airways and One Alliance.
Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. And here we are in Qatar. Well, in Doha in Qatar. This is my, I think, 61st country. And my first time here, apart from, I think, a layover once where I didn't leave the airport. But tonight I'm leaving the airport. I'm heading to a hotel before I transit tomorrow to Dubai. It's 10:20 here, but it's about 3:20 in the morning for me coming from Kuala Lumpur. So at this point, I'm tired. Thanks to Abdul back at the airport, I was able to send my bag the whole way through to Dubai. So that's something I don't need to worry about tonight. I just need to go through customs and immigration here at Doha. Some quick reflections on that flight. It took all of the 7 hours that it was intended to. The seat was very comfortable. I had plenty of leg room, even though I was in a window seat. The only thing is that your feet are restricted a little bit by the entertainment system. The food, however, was really disappointing. That chicken dish was just gristly. Not pleasant at all. But the service on board was top notch. I'm fascinated to see how that economy flight will compare to the business class flight that I'll be taking in a couple of weeks' time. For now though, let's head through passport control. I've been walking for about 10 minutes since I last spoke to you, and I still haven't reached baggage claim. This airport is ginormous. Does that really say baggage claim 18 minutes? Oh.
Stand clear. The doors are closing.
I was very glad to see this little train appear out of nowhere. It's pretty big. It's worse than Stansted.
Thanks so much for being here for this episode of Planet Patrick. By the way, can anyone tell me why all those guys are lined up in their uniforms at the baggage carousel? Until the next episode, take care. Bye bye.